everyone. It's rock and roll confessional time. I'm CW West.
I'm Rita Wilde. Hello.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a good, warmer spring. Like it's getting nice out there.
Spring cleaning time.
It is. I've been cleaning some stuff. You've been cleaning, right?
Doing yard, I got TMS.
Too much?
Shit.
Oh, you can say it. You can say the S word.
Too much shit.
I do too. So we should go in together and maybe have a big shit sale or something.
Oh, that'd be great.
You want to do that?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're just going to sell shit. I don't know
We
how.
got a lot of it.
Well, we got shit, kids. Anybody want some shit? It is 420, so maybe saying, does anybody want some shit is giving the impression we're selling the wrong kind of stuff.
No, we're sharing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, what's your song for the day? 420.
Am I supposed to have a song?
I don't know.
What would I have for 420? Well, oh no, that's Earth Day. Okay, 420. I don't know. It'd be something hippie-ish from the Grateful Dead, so I could just mellow out and toke something. Casey Jones or something.
Yeah, that's good.
Maybe. Sure. How about you?
Let's see. I got to go 420, 4 and 20. Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, 4 and 20 years ago.
Good.
But that's nothing to do with the day.
Right.
Or 20, 24 years.
Something by the Black Crowes, maybe?
No, I would go a little bit more Bob Marley.
Jammin' Man.
I got and Buffalo Soldiers, man.
Oh, great song.
Or Roll Another One.
Oh, New Riders of the Purple Sage.
The other one, yeah.
Was that
Bogart?
That joint, my friend. Pass it over to me. There's a reason I don't sing.
There's a reason I sing, but shouldn't.
So today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to run a few listener questions that we've collected through the past, year and a half that we've got through Instagram and through Facebook. We've just kind of saved some questions, and we thought we would use this time, since we're filling a show that was canceled at the last minute.
Oh.
Evil people. We will not mention their names. We won't mention their names. We might mention other names, but we won't mention their names. Anyways.
No, because we want to record them.
We still want to record them.
Yeah.
Right. They're just kind of dilly-dallied on the time situation, and so here we are chitty-chatting with ourselves. So, you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I'm following your lead, buddy.
Shit. In that case. So we have a question here from Allison Hodges. This was, I think, a while back ago, but she was a follower of you on KLOS. She wants to know, it's a very easy question. It's a very simple, quick question. Why Bruce?
Why Bruce? It's not a simple answer. Sometimes you go through life and music will play a very important part in your life, and you'll hear an artist or see an artist, and that will just, mark day one. And then day two is just going forward with this artist. But for me, it was seeing Springsteen, and it was Darkness on the Edge of Town tour. I didn't get to see him before. I wanted to see him at the Roxy, but no luck.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, no luck. And you know what, to be honest, I think a lot of people here in Southern California, Bruce was more of an East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of, people playing that music from the first, second album. And I love the second album, the third album with Born to Run, obviously. But just seeing him, he spoke to me. It was like one of those religious experiences that it's just like, okay, I have found myself. I have found my calling. That's why Bruce.
The first time I saw him, it was one of those wacky situations. It was Born in the USA. It was at the Coliseum. He played the 4 nights at the LA Coliseum, which held about, 80,000 people, because they had the floor. It was, luckily, it was seats on the floor.
Yeah.
So it was huge. And I really liked Bruce. I think I picked up on him around the River album. But when that Born in the USA came out, I know it was poppy, and like for all the hardcore Bruce fans, it's not their favorite album, but I really liked a lot of that music. And so I went online like all the rest of us had to and got tickets. And I got 4 tickets in the 4th row, like front and center.
Whoa,
completely like random. I actually got 4 in the 4th row, and then I went back and I got 2 in the 12th row center.
Oh my God.
And it was just such a great show. You know, he played everything new, he played everything old, and he played forever. It was like 3.5 hours each night. And so I think that's when I really fell in love. When I saw his showmanship and I saw the band play live and everything like that, that's when I'm like, God, this is amazing. And that's what it takes. You know, you have a great band. And I think it was Nils. I think Nils played.
Nils Lofgren.
Not right. Little Steven wasn't there. It was Nils Lofgren for that too, I think. Or did it
Little Steven
flip-flop?
came back. Yeah, Little Steven came back for a while. He left right after Born to Run. Not Born to Run. Born in the USA. He didn't really work on that album. And then he was doing his own thing, you know, like Sun City.
Yeah.
And all that great stuff that he did.
Yeah.
But, so he might have not been there at that time. But, what a great band. What a, you know, the big man. The piano player. Oh, my God. You know.
Yeah, Roy and...
Roy Bittan. Mighty Max Weinberg. At that time, we had on the organ, we had Danny Federici, who's passed, and of course on saxophone. The big man is passed too.
Yeah, Clarence Clemens, man.
Oh my God, yeah, just you know, just knock the air out of the audience completely, and just make sure that they're more tired than you.
Yeah,
are. I mean that was their philosophy.
Yeah,
you know, and they adhere to it. It's great.
Yeah, nice. Okay. What else we got?
Your favorite Disney movie? What is it?
I'm glad we're sticking with the theme of the podcast.
Well, it could be a musical.
It is not a musical, but since we're going with Disney, I like the first Johnny Depp Pirates of the Caribbean. I think that's one of my favorite because they took a great attraction and just expanded on it. And it was when Johnny was at his peak. It was comical. It was exciting. It was fun. It was swashbuckling. It's pirate. All the guys love pirate stuff. You know, it had Keira Knightley, who was just, you know, sweet as can be, cute, you know, and of course Orlando Bloom. We should talk about Orlando Bloom since we have a little story about Orlando Bloom. Should we
have a
should
story
we burst
about
the magical kingdom bubble?
You know what? Go ahead and tell me because I only know one Orlando Bloom story and I don't want to tell mine. So
well, it's the same, isn't it?
I don't know.
So Rita and I, when we were at the radio station, we were invited to come down to Disneyland when they did the original Pirates of the Caribbean premiere, which they did in New Orleans Square. They filled New Orleans Square with bleachers, and they put a giant screen out on Tom Sawyer's Island. And so we went and did a broadcast, and you were broadcasting there for like 4 hours. And, you know, just talking about the stars as they walk down the carpet and things like that.
Got quite a few stars, too.
You got Keith Richards, didn't you?
That was, I think, on the third movie.
Oh, right, because he wasn't in the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good. We're getting back to the music part of this. But so as it goes, am I talking about the same story?
I don't know.
So...
It probably is.
So as part of it, we get invited after the broadcast and you know, talking to people coming down the red carpet. They invited us and they gave us tickets to go sit in the bleachers to watch the movie. So we go and we watch the movie, and then afterwards there's like a big party where there's food and you get to go on the rides. And since it was in New Orleans Square, of course, one of the rides you get to go on is Pirates of the Caribbean. So somehow, I think there were some games or something, and you and I were playing these games, and it started getting really late, and so they're about to close down, and we run up to Pirates of the Caribbean, and we say, can we get on? You know, and they're like, okay, you're like the last ones that can get on. So we go, and we hop on the boat, and there's another boat in front of us that had already taken off, and so we go down the attraction, and we start la 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 la. And then all of a sudden we just smell this. Well, this takes us back to 420. This humongous cloud of smoke that we're now the boat is floating into. And it's like somebody in front of us is smoking some very intense weed. And so we're going through, and the whole time we're just following this cloud, and the boat keeps moving in toward the cloud. And so anyway, at the end, we get out and we walk outside, and it's pretty empty because they've kind of cleared everybody out. But right in front of us is Orlando Bloom and his whatever they call him.
It wasn't Katy Perry.
No, it was a Disneyland guide.
Oh, okay.
That was escorting them around and, kind of watches over them and makes sure they don't get jumped by fans and things like that. Anyway.
And geeks like us.
Right. And then the first thing you do, of course, is go up to Orlando and go, can I have your picture?
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
But yeah, so is that the Orlando Bloom, or do you have a different one?
I think you and your wife are in the picture, and I'm just like, I'm geeking out. It's like the geekiest picture of me. Well, one of the geekiest pictures of me ever. So,
oh my God, that was really funny. So
that was
fun. And then there was the other time. Okay, so then was it the third one? I don't want to mention names, but there was someone in our party. So for the third movie, I think we went back, and that's when you interviewed Keith Richards, right. And we had the same setup, and we Rita was there for like 4 hours, and she was talking to everybody as they come by, and we went and watched the movie, and then somebody in our party knew where the private party was afterwards, and so we
of course we would know that.
we walked toward it, and in front of us there was, I don't know the actor's name, but he was the guy that had the wooden eye. He was the pirate on the ship. He was one of the comical pirates, and he had, I think it was a wooden eye or something like that.
Wooden eye.
So the four of us were, and then he's got like a girlfriend or something, and so we start talking with him. And we're kind of in back of him, but we're talking and we're kind of chatting up a little story. And so we get to the entrance of this party, and they say to him, because his name's on the list, they say, "Oh, how many with you?" And then one of the people in our party yells out, 6. And they say, "Okay, come on in." So we went into this party, sort of invited, but it was like actually really cool because there was only like 100, 150 people or so. Yeah. And it was like most of the celebrities from the movie were at this private party. And it was like really high end,
But there was
food.
Another door that we could not get into.
Well, that's because
the back room.
Because
and that's where Johnny was there and Keith Richards was there.
Yeah.
And they're playing guitars and, doing
having their special dinner. We didn't get that far. No one. I don't think anybody else got that far. So
no,
but it was still like one of those events that you just kind of stumble upon and it happened. So
that was one of my favorite events ever at Catalyst.
Yeah. No, you got to have more than that.
Let's see. I have so many that
Here's one for you. I'll give you one. So this one, Rita, is from Mike Tucker. And he wants to know, with all of the people in all of your years in radio and podcasting, but it doesn't have to be podcasting, who was your favorite artist or band to interview?
Sometimes interviewing, like at big events, like at the Coliseum, I got to interview Adam Clayton of U2. That was really cool. At Dodger Stadium, I got to interview Elton John. That was really cool, but that's not like a sit down kind of,
right.
It was
that's usually like a quickie 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. So those were just like extremely memorable. All the times I've met you two, I've been so fortunate to have been lucky enough to be around certain areas where I could, talk with them. I think the only one that ever really remembers me is Larry. Larry, the drummer, he goes, "Oh yeah, you're the one who works at the radio station. Yeah, that's me. And hey, did you know I'm the voice on Where the Streets Have No Name? The first voice. No, I didn't know that was you." I was like, "Oh, good. Can we be best friends forever?" No. But
Yeah. How's that pen paling going?
it's going great. I haven't seen him in 10 years. I mean, face to face.
Right.
Yeah. But still, we're like that. We're close. It's just amazing. Sometimes you can some of my favorite interviews on the podcast, I can go there. Sure. We have one coming up that was really special to me. And I don't know if I'm going to hear it again as special as I thought it was. And that is with our next guest, which do you want to pimp or not?
Listen very soon.
I don't want to pimp. Okay.
Our Patreon fans know, but nobody else knows yet.
Okay. And then I really love talking with Paul Williams. I love talking with pretty much all the ones we've interviewed. I mean, they've been, good, special people, and just enjoyed the talking.
Yeah.
You?
Well, I remember that one of them, I think one of our first ones, because you and I put together the local music show on the radio station after Mark Felsod, who was in one of our podcast episodes from a couple years ago.
That was my favorite one.
A year ago. Well, of course it was. Thank you, Mark. But he wound up producing and being the head of Tom Petty Radio on Sirius XM. And you can find that episode if you go to our archives. But I think he left the station, or he got promoted. And so then I became the producer and you became the host of the local music show. We did Motley Crue, I think, which was really kind of that was probably one of my first big bands.
Yeah.
I remember, I think we did Lone Justice, who I love. Love Maria McKee's voice. Oh, she's still got a beautiful voice. If you've never heard Lone Justice, give it a chance. I did out of the blue, like we had an opportunity at one time. This isn't music related, but I had the opportunity to interview John Candy.
Oh, wow.
They just kind of threw it at the radio station. And I don't remember if it was, I don't remember who was the program director, but they kind of turned it down. They're like, we don't want to do it. And I kind of thought, you know what, I'm just going to take advantage. So I just took a little recorder. I went over to his condo, which was like Marina Del Rey, and I interviewed him for about 45 minutes. And, I think he passed away. It was a couple years after that he had passed away. But, I know you did a couple fill-ins for Rockline, right?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did.
And it wasn't you too. I thought it was, but I think that was Gino Michelini that did you too.
I was there as a backup for you two, because I think it was Bob's wife was having a baby or something like that. So, they had two standby hosts and I was one of the standby. So I got to be there when they were being interviewed by Gino and stuff like that.
Do you remember who you interviewed for those Rockline specials?
Let's see. One was Nils Lofgren.
Oh.
One was John Bon Jovi.
Nice.
One was Melissa Etheridge.
Okay.
The Hooters.
Cool.
Who else? There were some other ones. Eddie Money. But I let Eddie Money just take the show. Because, it was like,
he just goes.
Yeah. And it's just like, I'll just be there to tell you when to go to commercials and stuff like that, So yeah, some special ones. And it's really bizarre once you go to something like that, that's national and live. It's like, God.
I can't imagine the pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, the pressure for a podcast is one thing because you can edit it. Live radio, you're going to make mistakes anyway because you're on 4 hours a day, 5 days, 6 days a week. But a national show like that, where people don't know you and will be probably more judgmental, you would think would be a lot harder. That would be very hard.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who, I mean, I didn't do a lot of interviews, so trying to think of who else I was around. I don't know. Some of the podcast ones. Yeah.
What was your favorite promotion you ever did?
Favorite promotion?
There's too many of them. And don't let everything else distract from what it was. But yeah, just favorite promotions, favorite thing that you worked on that was like, wow, that, yeah, I mean, because there were a lot of stuff with Mark and Brian, like those parades, getting those parades up, like on like a day's notice or something like that.
The stress takes away from the favorite part.
Yeah.
I think there were some great accomplishments from some of those things. I think when we rented out Disneyland for 10,000 people was a really good promotion. As far as marketing and giving 10,000 people a nice gift. But the stress of that was really difficult. I look at some of the huge concerts we did. We did ZZ Top with 60,000 people. We did the Black Crowes with 60,000 people. I remember those were pretty incredible.
Absolutely.
Concerts to do. But we also got some of the fun little things that, sometimes the smaller and the more special it is. We gave away, I think, all the tickets to Bruce Springsteen's Unplugged that we did. You went to that, Of course you did. Duh.
Did you?
I did. Yeah. In fact, I was watching the video a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, oh, you can see the back of my head there and stuff. Yeah. And I remember because, with Springsteen, you never know when something special, like at the end, with a small amount of people, he may stop down and say, okay, I'm gonna literally say hi to everybody, because that's the kind of guy he is. So the whole time I had like this folded piece of cardboard with a Springsteen picture in it that was like stuffed down my pants, so I couldn't really dance that well. Let's face it, I can't dance anyway. But I look like this stiff board kind of trying to dance, because I'm like, I can't damage this, because if he comes out and decides he's going to sign things, I'm like, I got my shit together here.
Yeah, and you can have sweat on it.
Right, especially stomach sweat.
Yeah, crotch sweat.
So, so that was really one of those special promotions, and there were a lot. Again, I've always said that I'm very blessed at what I got to do.
A lot of the things we did, like with Mark and Brian, special. What do we call them? Mark and Brian Amphitheater, having people Yes in there. And then I remember one Yes concert in the conference room. Remember a big conference room?
Well,
it was my birthday.
Big means
really a big.
Maybe it would hold 30 people. Once you get a band in who takes up half the room.
Exactly. But, yes. And I remember John Anderson singing Happy Birthday to Me. I don't have a tape of that, so I need to get, somebody has got a tape of that.
Was that Mark and Brian?
Yeah,
Teddy.
Mark and Brian.
Ted's got to have that.
I don't know if Ted would have it, or one of the people in the Mark and Brian chain that, host all the
You got to put that out there.
Yeah, I got to get that, because that was special.
That's really cool.
Stuff like with, Dave Matthews.
Who we didn't play a lot of, but he still got on the Mark and Brian show, which was the nice thing.
Absolutely. We
had the Pretenders in there. I think that might have been for Jim Ladd, but
living room, and that was.
Do you remember the room? So the room would hold, if standing, maybe you could get 50 people crammed in there. So the Pretenders had about 95% of the room full of equipment. And we had to squeeze. I think there was maybe 10 or 20 listeners that won the chance to come down. And literally, they were just squeezed up against the wall with like speakers and things, like literally an inch or two in front of them. I mean, I couldn't believe all the stuff that they brought, like a full concert's worth of gear to that event.
And couldn't have been nicer.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite moment on Mark and Brian with an artist was Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham, and they did like 7:30 in the morning, a rendition of Lancelot.
Yeah.
And it was just, you're just moved. For one thing, it's like, how does somebody sound that good at 7:30 in the morning? Because they're not early morning people, but it was just amazing. Just amazing. And I just think about that and just, my God, how lucky was I? And I mixed it. I guess I could say I mixed it.
Oh, were you running the board?
I was running the board, yeah.
Nice. You got to see the whole thing.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it was just cool. Magical. Just magical.
Do you remember, so this would have been with, I think, Bob Coburn, but do you remember when B.B. King came in?
Oh, yeah. He also came in with Mark and Brian.
He did. Okay, yeah. then this probably was Mark and Brian, but when his special request
Actually, I think that they kind of came up with that because they said that he liked to do that, but it wasn't in the writer or anything like that. So they said, let's just make sure that we can provide that.
So we have to explain. So, and I love B.B. King. I mean,
oh my God, yeah.
He's one of the absolute greats, but somehow, somehow there was a small monitor or video player or something like that right in front of him. So he was in the middle of the interview, and Mark and Brian, our morning show, was one of the guys was on one side, one was on the other side, and then straight in front was it you at that time, or was it Nicole?
I think it would have been me. I think I was there. Yeah.
So anyway, there's a small,
or it could have been Nicole.
Small monitor that's on right in front of him. So if he was looking at where Rita was, the monitor would be in between, facing him. And so somehow there's all this porn playing on the monitor. and BB is like hyper focused on the monitor, but answering as though he is extremely intelligent, and he's having these conversations like you couldn't tell anything else was going on in that room. Yeah. But I don't know if he ever at any point moved his head from changing from that monitor. So I guess there was some very good porn on
that
there.
Was great. That was, I didn't see any of the porn, but I remember him being there. Just the nicest guy.
I was in the other room, but I don't remember what he was watching. So must not have been my kind of
You weren't porn. The one responsible to get the porn in the
studio. Hell no. No.
We could have just asked around the building and somebody would have provided.
I don't want any of that on my resume. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
All right. What else you got?
Do you have a professional mentor? Somebody who served as a mentor to you that really got you excited about the business and wanting to be in the business? And
I would go with I would go with a couple. I would say the people that allowed me in. So my first internship was at KSJO Radio in San Jose, back when it was rock and roll. I think it's either Hispanic now or it's pop, of course. Something's changed. I would say that was Bob Jenkins who allowed me to come into there and intern there for my very first internship. So I give him some credit. He went on to work with, I think it was Steve Wozniak and the whole US Festival.
Wow. Okay.
And then I'm not sure. I haven't kept in touch with him, so I don't know what else he's been doing. But and then I guess I'd give credit to Steve Smith, who was at KLOS, who brought me in there for interning. My thinking was, as long as I'm in school, as long as I've got the time, I'm going to intern wherever I can to get my foot in the door, because it's the perfect way to do it, which is why I tried as best I could to support interns when they wanted to work with us. So, those two I would give probably everybody that gave me a break. Mark Felsop brought me into Rockline. So, I give him, I thank him for that. There's been a lot of people, but those are probably three. We'll include Mark because we've already talked about him, and he's got a big ego. So,
does he? I don't know whether he does.
No.
God.
No.
You're so bad. He's like Mr. Tom Petty now. It's like people ask questions about like a certain song or something, and he knows like exactly where it was recorded and this and that.
I know.
I'm so proud of him.
Yeah, he's done great. What about you?
What about me? My mentors, several of them. One was, going to college, not knowing what I was going to do, thinking it was going to be politics. But one of my speech instructors at Cypress College said, you know what? You really know a lot about music and you've got a great voice. You should think about radio. And it was at that moment, it was like, radio? Of course. That's my destiny. I mean, I used to, have little radios with me all the time, listen to them, take them apart and do all that kind of stuff. But women in radio wasn't really a big thing. It was mostly guys in the male dominated industry. But, I got very lucky and I went to school, and then I went to Fullerton College and I who had a great radio program there, and met somebody by the name of Brett Flippin, who said, "Do you want to come work at KZY?" And yeah, you just have to answer the people's phones. It's like, okay, so you answer the phone, people call and request, and you have to say, "Oh, well, we'll try and get to that soon," because it was all recorded, it was all automated.
Yeah, everything was all pre-set up.
Yeah.
Again, another radio bubble burst here, folks.
Yeah. So then they had to let people go. And I remember walking into the program director's office. I said, anything you need help with, I'm going to school. I'm getting money for going to school from the government. So, if you just need somebody to do stuff for free, I just want to be in the building. It's just so exciting for me. And just, he said, okay, we'll try and set something up. And so sure enough, I spent the next 2 years interning for free. And one day he said, make me a tape. And I thought, oh, God, it's going to be just like my, professor over at, Cal State Long Beach that said, make a tape. Oh, you ain't got a chance, in this business. And I didn't really want to be a disc jockey or anything like that. It was never, I just wanted to be in radio, wanted to be around it. And he liked the tape and he said, "You're on the air next weekend." And that was like, what? Huh? Excuse me? You're on the air next weekend. Okay. So, he took a lot of risk, because there were a lot of people that were pretty pissed that I got that opportunity. And then it made it, even worse when he promoted me to full time and to do nights. But, it was the start of something very, I never thought it would last.
What time nights were you on? Were you like 10 to 2?
7 to midnight, I think it was.
Yeah, but look where all that put you.
Oh, I know. It put me in some place that I never even dreamt possible. And then, of course, when KZY was getting sold, they told me to, start sending out tapes and think about getting a job somewhere else. And so I was lucky enough to get called in by Tommy Hadges at KLOS. And,
bingo.
It was like, "Can you work tonight? The overnight tonight?" And I was like, "Sure." I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't know how to run the board.
It's like, I just hope I don't say the other call words and call letters and, or anything else bad. But I did that and then, just became their full-time swing person.
Yeah.
Full-time, So I got to do like a lot of different shifts and a lot of different things. And that was great. And then, Bill Summers, I have to also consider a mentor. He wanted to put a woman into the chair, into the program director's chair. I remember talking with him once, but I wasn't ready, and he knew that. And then I don't even think I was ready the second time, but he knew that there was nobody who loved that place more than
your passion. Your passion was
my passion was that station.
Yeah.
And the people in it, and to make sure that they were taken care of. And I love the way that he took care of, his people. And,
Did you find, so you were mostly off the air when you became program director?
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that, I could do some stuff because I didn't want to lose all my
knowledge of how to do it.
That mostly I didn't want to lose my benefits because I was a member of SAG-AFTRA.
Oh, right. Union.
SAG-AFTRA back at KZY too. It was just after at the time. So I didn't want to lose so I was doing a feature called The Rock Report. So I would do that and then be able to do commercials, but just I had to change where I got my money from. So
did you because there's being the program director, you had to hire and fire people, which I can't imagine that was.
No, it was a horrible.
I could probably actually name a few that you didn't mind firing, but we won't get there.
You're always concerned about people, and I can honestly say, in my heart, I tried my best.
You did great. I know.
I tried my best, and there were some just impossible situations. Like when the Janet Jackson thing happened, and then FCC started clamoring down on everything. Radio just got to be not fun. And then it just got to be more corporate, and it's like, oh, why don't you play new music? And it's like, do you think ABC Disney is going to let this flagship station, loose with a woman. Do you really think that I can say, okay, we're adding this and not have to put up blockage? It's like, well, we're adding the Metallica. I'm sorry. It's just Enter Sandman. It was like, come on. It was like the greatest song ever.
Of course.
But I got a lot of flack for that because they wanted to keep it just straight classic. And then towards the end, that's what happened. And it was just like, okay, I don't need to fight this fight. I am proud of what I did, and we were successful with it. The station made a lot of money and the numbers were okay, but it's not a job that I would recommend for anybody unless you got a huge ego. If you have a huge ego, it's
which
like,
some of the program directors did that came in there.
Yeah. Some did, but
at least you didn't get the pressure of having to play like Aladdin or like A Whole New World or something from Disney. The Lion King, Circle of Life.
But I look back on those Disney years also as some great times too.
Oh,
because we had ESPN, and I was a huge Angels fan, and that was the time when they went to the World Series.
I remember that. I actually went. I actually went.
Really?
Yes, I did.
I didn't see you there.
I was up in the other section.
Yeah, I was
the little people section.
That was just an amazing thing when you root for a team for so long, and then they finally make it to the big game and they win it. Every fan needs to know what that feels like. So I'm fortunate I got to.
All right, last question here from you might remember this name, Bob Glarp. Bob wants to know what was the absolute craziest moment or time in your career? Like, what is one of the weirdest things that happened?
The weirdest. There are two things. One was the riot.
Oh.
And, having armed guards on top of our building. And I was music director at that time, so I was required to come in and, I did some shifts because I wanted everybody else to stay back. And I remember driving in and people yelling and shouting at me, it's like, hey, you know what? I'm on your side, actually. I remember that distinctly. And the other was 9/11. There was nothing else like that. It was just, it was like, I'm a real history buff and, I love my country. We don't do all the things right. We do a lot of things wrong, but, that was just an attack. And it's just like, I knew people, people in New York. I didn't know if people at our sister stations were fine or, friends that worked in the music business, if they were fine. And then, heading that crash out in Pennsylvania and then DC and, that was a tough day. And then to try and be, strong and supportive for everybody. What do you say? I don't know. Another day, like anytime a big rock star would pass away, it was like, you just have to be strong. You have to muscle through it. And, they're not times that, I look on with admiration, but I do look on with, respect and proud of the people that we had, like Mark and Brian were great. I thought during 9/11, everybody else. And, the riots, just some amazing people that were there and some of the amazing people that we worked, with, I'm very fortunate.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I'm not going to be as sentimental as you are, but you were, part of one of the craziest times that I had there, which, you weren't there to take the heat that I had to take.
Ooh,
but
there could be two things here.
And I haven't really talked about this one very much, but so one of the events we did was at the Greek Theater in Los Angeles here, and it was for the Robert Plant show, and we had like about 10 or 15 winners that actually we got to take backstage and meet Robert. So the way it worked is beforehand, before the concert, we gathered all of our winners together. We put them in a room, and knowing how this works, usually the celebrity or band or whoever, the band members will come out and they'll they'll come in and they'll like walk around the room and they'll say hi to everybody and shake their hand and maybe sign something real quick. So there was the Greek theater people were there and the record company people were there. And so we kind of lined up all the winners around the room. And we were just kind of all waiting for Robert. You never know what time they're going to come in, but they come in. And Robert comes in. I think he comes in with a security guard or something like that. And the first thing out of his mouth is, "Who the fuck is from KLOS?" And so I, being the cheerleader, because I was there with these winners, I, with the cheerleader, think, okay, he's like, who are the KLOS winners, right? So I go, "We are." And then I start, trying to get all the winners to go, "We are." And he goes, "No, who the fuck is from KLOS?" And I go,
God.
"I'm from KLOS." And he gets up to my face and he's like, "How many times have you played my new album or something, my new song or something like that?" And I go, I don't know. First off, I work in promotions. I don't work in the programming department. So I don't really have the numbers of how many times we've played something like this. And he goes, "Get somebody on the phone now." And he's sitting there waiting while I had thank God I had a cell phone. I think even Gary Moore might have been at this event because he was hosting Get the Lead Out or something like that. So I think he might have been there too. So I call Rita, and Rita's still at work, thank God. And I'm like, "Rita, how?
Who the fuck?
What the fuck are you doing, Rita?"
How many times have you played Robert's song? He wants to know what he wants to know now.
And I'm sitting here sweating because, we've promised all these winners that they get to meet their idol. And Robert's one. I mean, let's face it.
Yeah.
He's everybody's freaking idol.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, and the last thing I want to do is cause a ripple that's I'm going to have to like deal with later. Like he's going to turn around and walk out. And then the next day I'm going to have to call 15 people who all want to know why they were supposed to win this opportunity to meet Robert Plant. And none of them got to because he was in his cranky mood. So anyway, so I go to you and I'm like, "Rita, how many times?" And you're like, I don't know. I don't really have. Back then, you couldn't just look up exactly how many times this song could be played. It took a lot of research. It took interns who had to literally count through the paperwork to figure it out. And so you go, "Well, we just played it like 45 minutes ago." And I'm like, so I said to, I don't know what exactly I said, but I just led like, "Robert," I go, "we just played it 45 minutes ago. I don't have all the information. I don't know how long it is. We don't have the research, we don't have the ways to figure this out." And then it was like, I don't know what, like he had a bad moment and then the bad moment passed and then he just like flipped a 180 and he, and then he was like completely nice. And I just said, and of course, here's the part I love while I'm being yelled at. Do you think anybody from the Greek theater or the record company came over to help soften the blow?
Yeah.
No. Let's watch
on your own.
Let's watch the monkey try to climb out of the barrel that's nailed shut.
It is the loneliest feeling.
Oh my God. It's just one of those panics where I'm like, all I'm thinking is like,
Get me out
don't
of here.
screw this up, Robert, please. So so he actually wound up. I said, "Look," I said, I really need you. We've got all these great winners here. Just talked him up because obviously that was his ego talking, and he wanted to. So I just said, "Look, we've got all these winners that have been waiting months to meet you, and this and that, and they've been waiting for this concert, and they can't wait, and blah 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 blah." Anyway, so I then escorted him from each winner where I don't think he took a photo, but I think he signed something for everybody, their shirt or program, whatever they had. And then he left. So it was like 10 minutes of torture.
Yeah. It just, when you're in that firing line and there's nobody helping you out. Oh my God. It's just like, please, somebody assist.
Yeah. And I remember watching those people just sitting there like nobody was coming to the rescue. I'm just like, okay, I am 100% on my own. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm sorry you had to go through that. But yeah, I mean, it's different because,
I got to meet Robert.
Yeah, you got to meet Robert. You got to meet both Roberts at that time, apparently.
Yeah.
the good
and the God.
But yeah, it's, when that time at the music industry also was, whenever Robert Plant put out something, he used to be able to just get maximum airplays.
Yeah.
But, the lists were shrinking and people above me and consultants did not want to have a lot of newer music on, shall I say. So, we played it. I remember it was...
I remember we played
Darkness. It was Darkness. And he did a great cover of that song. Great cover.
Yeah.
Great song. But, when you've got people with attention spans of, I just want to hear the hits, man. I don't want to hear
the Zeppelin hits, not even the Robert Plant hits.
I don't want to hear, it's like, it's like you got to give, I don't know. You got to try to make it work and try to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
And it's an impossible job.
Sure is. You can't make everybody happy, but anyway, one of those things. So,
okay. In the last 2 years, where have you envisioned?
Okay,
in the last 2 years, where could you have envisioned yourself living? Like just, we're in the pandemic and it's just like, okay, I'm just going to pack up and go where? Did you go anywhere? Or mentally?
Mentally, yeah. I've been to some great places mentally. Even before 420.
Yeah.
What I would have, I dreamt of Maui because I love Maui. And then I kind of dreamt of New Zealand because it's a country, yet it's small. And with all the crossing of people and the people that don't want to wear masks and the people that don't want to follow the rules. And it just felt like I was tired of constantly running into, just whoever, just people, in my one day a week going out to get shopping or something that, I didn't want to run into people because I was tired of that interaction and I was tired of my brain constantly being critical of other people for not wanting to follow my rules. And so I thought of New Zealand because I'm like, oh, well, they've already, they don't have the virus or anything else, or, they've eradicated or whatever, they have it really under control there. So I just thought that would be fun. Or my own island. If we're going to do fantasy, then I'm going to have my own island that will have a flushing toilet and it will have
internet.
Yeah. I'll be able to get Wi-Fi anywhere on the island and Netflix and, something else.
The other night, I was watching, I think it was Academy of Country Music Awards or Country Music Awards. And that show was so good. It was just so creative, I thought. Just so many great musicians that I thought at that moment in time, I should just pack up and leave, go to Nashville. Maybe it just felt like the place to be. Other than that, it's like usually Italy or someplace down, as friends.
Oh, Italy would be nice.
Yeah, just to be
Tuscany.
Just to go there. Oh, yeah.
Some nice real wine and real
Amalfi
fresh
Coast.
food.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, back to reality.
So we're back, and in a couple weeks we got some great stuff planned, and we've got some great stuff recorded. We just just due to timing, we couldn't release. We couldn't release some of them at certain times and, our commitments with the bands and managements and things like that. So we thank you all very much for listening. We want to remind you to please follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And if you have it in your heart, please go to Patreon, Patreon, and make a small pledge just to help support us. We could really use the financial help to pay for these very small things, but yet
pay for our dreams trips, going to the Amalfi Coast.
To buy an island. That's where all of your money is going to go. We're going to buy an island. But if we do, we're going to invite
come over.
all of you, and we're going to have a concert with Bruce.
Yeah, and you too. And Stones.
Oh, and Stones. Okay. Yeah. So
and
there you
lots
go.
Of new people. Okay.
And who? Some new people? Okay. Maybe Coldplay and Foo Fighters? That'd be
okay. Good. All right. That'd be great.
Since we're making the rest of our life a fantasy.
Making it all up. Making it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So thanks everybody so much for being a part of it and for listening and sitting through this episode of fun fact stuff, radio talk. And we look forward to seeing all of you or talking with you or talking to you in a couple weeks.
Excellent. Thank you, CW.
Bye, everybody.